I am so nervous to turn this on right this second because I have no idea what's going to happen, but I just want to preface this video with, I am not teaching you anything today, unless things go horribly wrong, and then you'll learn what not to do. This is totally for my amusement. I figured I'd turn the cameras on and take you guys along for the ride. I have a very specific, small, unique situation, and I've always wondered what would happen if we put a router bit in the drill press. Would it work? The right thing to do would be to use the router table. I have a really nice setup here that I could use just fine. Or take the router on top of the work, on top of a bench, and do it that way. This will all make sense here in just a second. Again, I just wanted to experiment, but I also want to put it out there because you never know who's watching. Don't try this at home. All right, so in my last video, I showed you guys these 2" by 16" strips of PVC tape from FastCap. They are self-adhesive, so you just peel this back, and you can stick it on an insert here at the miter saw. We did the throat insert for my table saw, which works out really, really well. We even did an old crosscut sled that I just keep hanging onto, but we kind of rejuvenated the inside of this so that parts and pieces wouldn't fall down in here and we'd get cleaner cuts. In that video, I showed you guys with this throat plate that if you're going to use this, there's a little bit of thickness to it. So you're gonna have to adjust this a little lower so that this matches up with the tabletop surface. In my miter saw, I have an insert that's made out of this engineered hardwood. You can see where I routed by hand last time and then drilled out my screw holes so that everything would match. And when I have this without the tape, it levels out perfectly. That's how I made this, is to perfectly level out with the table. The problem is here, we have that thickness. I think it's like 21 thou or something. So what I need to do is take this out and route this back down again, that roughly 21 thou, whatever that measures out to. And then that should, once I put that back in here, level me out just like I had it before. All right, I feel like the first thing I need to do is speed this thing up before I forget. All right, so I have a 1/2" bit chucked up in here already, and the drill press will spin the correct direction, so that is good. What I'm thinking is we get this all dialed in height-wise, and we'll bring it down to whatever that is, and then we'll just kind of drive this across here. But I don't want the bit coming in contact with this back fence. So I have these 2 pieces here. I'm thinking what I do is we kind of double-side tape them to this so that it's temporary, and then that'll give me just a little bit of clearance there so that the fence won't be coming in contact with the router bit. And then we'll just take this and we'll just kind of drive it right across here like this, and that should just shave off that edge. But I don't want my hands anywhere near this, so I cleaned off the bottom of the gripper. I'll put tape here so that this side will glide smoothly on the table, and then we have our hands sort of out of the way, and I can just glide it through here like this. I have my fence tightened down, and this bit is just barely inside of this recess right here. So it's clear of everything. Everything's gonna be fine right here, but what I noticed is that I can't get this any lower. The material is just too thin. So what I think I'm gonna have to do, because I don't want that chuck to hit the fence, is we're gonna stick this piece of phenolic ply underneath here to actually raise this up, because raising the table is only gonna make it the same problem. We're not gonna fix anything. But if I stick this piece of phenolic ply under here and we fasten this down, I should be able to drive this through here, something like this. And let me just double check. That's with it zeroed out right there. So I have just enough room to come down another 21 thousandths. All right, so I say what we do is we hold this guy on the edge, and then we will just hold a scrap piece of tape up here because we know that that's the right thickness. And we will use a nice sharp chisel point here. And basically anything under that mark has to be taken off. You can see it's not much at all, but we do have to take this off of here in order for this thing to sit right. All right, so I think we're basically good right here. I think we're ready to turn it on and let this thing rip. There's one issue, and that's that my hand is going to be in the way. Even if I move up here, this is going to be in the way. So I think we're going to take this off because as I run through here, we want this to be down all the way, and then we want to be able to slide. Oh, we need some tape on this backside real quick. Okay, now we have grip on one side and not the other. So if we lower this down, that's where it's going to go. In theory, we turn this on, and then we should be able to, gripping this, just come through here and shave that off. Okay, I am so nervous to turn this on right this second because I have no idea what's going to happen, but that actually worked. Not too bad. I had a slow feed rate. I figured it wasn't good to just cram this stuff in here. And if I do this, it looks like we took just the right amount off. So let's route the other side. Why not? All right, here's the moment of truth. That looks pretty darn good to me. After all, it is at the miter saw, and I don't always use this for finish work since I have the table saw. But before, it definitely wouldn't have worked. So, couple of notes. I'm super excited that that worked. I'm glad that I finally did that, kind of got rid of my curiosity. But drill presses are meant for up and down. They're not meant for side to side movement. So if you were doing something where you were trying to take off a lot of material, trying to create an edge profile on something, I wouldn't recommend it whatsoever. This chuck can actually come off with all that side load on there. I've used this before for sanding small things, and I've had the chuck actually come off as I'm putting a lot of pressure on there with the sanding strip, and the chuck has actually come off. It scared the crud out of me. I didn't have a router bit in it. I feel like a router bit can cause some serious damage when that chuck drops out. So I don't recommend this. I'm glad that it worked. Like I said, it satisfied what I was trying to figure out, and I'm glad I didn't get hurt, but I definitely wouldn't recommend it. Anyways, enough babbling. That's all I got for today. Thanks so much for watching as always, and we'll see you guys in the next video.